The chandelier above the table glowed softly, warm, golden, perfect. Just like every Christmas before. I sat in my usual seat, quietly unnoticed. 32 years. Same table. Same family. Same role. The one who didn't quite belong. My father stood at the head of the table, carving the turkey with careful precision. Every movement controlled. Every slice exact. That's how he ran everything. His business. His house. His family. Including me. But tonight, something felt different. There was a tension in the air. Subtle, but heavy. My mother kept adjusting her necklace. My brothers exchanged glances. Like they were waiting for something. I took a small bite of mashed potatoes, slow calm. My phone vibrated inside my purse. Once. Then again. I ignored it. Work could wait. Family dinners couldn't. Sarah. My father's voice cut through the room. I looked up. Yes, Dad. He placed the knife down carefully. Like this moment mattered. There's something important we need to discuss. Of course there was. There always was. I nodded slightly. I'm listening. My brothers straightened. Their wives leaned forward. Even the kids looked up from their phones. This wasn't casual conversation. This was planned. My father cleared his throat. The same way he always did before making decisions for everyone else. Your mother and I have finalized our will. There it was. Inheritance. Control. Legacy. The room went quiet. Only the soft crackling of the fireplace filled the space. The business, he continued, the properties, the investments. A pause. They will go to Michael and David. I didn't react. Not outwardly. I just picked up my fork and took another bite. Calm. Measured. Expected. They've proven themselves, he added. They understand responsibility. Of course they did. They had been given everything. Opportunities. Positions. Guidance. I had been given. Assumptions. I nodded once. That makes sense. My mother leaned forward quickly. Sarah, sweetheart, it's not that we don't love you. That sentence. Always followed by something disappointing. You've just always been different. Different. Another word for, not enough. Your little computer job, she continued gently, living alone downtown. She hesitated. You've never really shown interest in real business. I took a sip of water. Let her finish. Because she needed to say it. Michael adjusted his expensive suit. The company needs leadership, he said. Someone who understands how things work. David nodded. The restaurants too. It's not your area. Not my area. I almost smiled. Instead, I reached for my wine. Expensive. Rare. Chosen carefully. By me. But they didn't know that. You're right, I said softly. I wouldn't know anything about that. Relief passed across their faces. Quick. Subtle. But there. They thought I agreed. They thought I accepted my place. My father smiled slightly. I'm glad you understand. My mother added quickly. We've set aside a small trust for you. I looked at her. How much? She hesitated. 50,000. I nodded again. Generous. Across the table, Jennifer looked satisfied. Patricia tried to hide her smirk. And my brothers? Relaxed. Like a problem had just been solved. Honestly, Jennifer said. It's for the best. We have plans, expansions, investments. I listened. Quietly. As they talked about growth. Opportunities. Future profits. All the things they believed I didn't understand. Then Patricia leaned forward. We're thinking of buying those new luxury condos downtown. My hand paused slightly. Which ones? Harborview Residences, she said proudly. Amazing location. Huge potential. I took a slow sip of wine. Careful. Controlled. Because I knew those buildings. Every floor. Every contract. Every detail. That sounds like a great investment, I said. And it was. For me. Because I owned it. But they didn't know that. Not yet. My phone vibrated again. Stronger this time. Persistent. I glanced down. Emma. 3 missed calls. That meant something important. Probably the merger. Or the acquisition. Or both. I ignored it. This moment was more important. My father raised his glass. To family, he said. And to a strong future. Everyone lifted their glasses. Except me. I waited a second, then slowly raised mine. To family. We drank. And for a moment, everything felt normal again. Until, Aunt Sarah, Tommy's voice broke the rhythm. I looked at him. Yes. He was staring at his phone. Confused. Focused. Like he wasn't sure what he was seeing. I just got a notification, he said slowly. No one paid much attention. Forbes just updated their billionaire list. Jennifer smiled absent-mindedly. That's nice, honey. But Tommy didn't smile. He kept staring at the screen. Then at me. Then back at the screen. His expression changed. Slowly. From curiosity. To confusion. To something else. Something sharper. Aunt Sarah, he said again. This time quieter. More serious. There's someone here with your name. The table didn't react immediately. But I did. Not outwardly. Just internally. The moment had arrived. Right on time. The billionaire reveal. The room froze. Every fork halted midair. Every glass paused halfway to lips. The fireplace crackled. But it barely made a sound anymore. Tommy's hands were trembling. The phone in his hands now seemed heavier than the turkey platter. Aunt Sarah, he whispered again. This says you're on the Forbes billionaire list. I smiled faintly. Calmly. Softly. Yes. The words barely needed emphasis. Because the silence spoke louder. My mother gasped. Her hand flew to her mouth. Her pearl necklace clinked faintly. Michael's eyes widened. David's jaw dropped. Jennifer leaned over his shoulder, staring at the screen. Patricia's face went pale. The room stopped existing. It was just us. Me. The family. And a number. $3.8 billion. Tommy swallowed hard. Is this really you? He asked. Number 47, he added. I nodded slightly. Yes. That's me. A ripple ran across the table. Shock. Disbelief. Confusion. All at once. My father's commanding presence faltered. His face turned ashen. Impossible, he whispered. I took another bite of turkey. Deliberate. Measured. He blinked. Michael grabbed Tommy's phone, hands shaking. Jennifer gasped. It's definitely her, she whispered. Your company, my mother stammered, Quantum Dynamics, the AI company. I nodded again. Founded 8 years ago in a small downtown apartment, I said softly. A laptop. A few thousand in savings. That's all it started with. The room erupted. Whispers. Gasping. Clinking glasses. Questions. Silent horror. My father's voice cracked. You work for someone else. You never mentioned owning a company. Why didn't you tell us? I sipped my wine. Slowly. Tell you what. The room grew heavier. Last Christmas when David lectured me about real business? Or maybe Michael's birthday party. When Jennifer suggested I find a man to take care of me. Because clearly I couldn't take care of myself. Silence. Tommy's voice broke it again. Aunt Sarah, it says here, you personally donated $50 million to children's hospitals last year. And you're building a new cancer research center. The Morrison Center. Yes, I confirmed. My mother's pearl necklace clinked as she clasped her hands together. Her eyes wide. My apartment. My Honda. Everything they assumed meant I was struggling. They were wrong. Michael set the phone down slowly. Sarah, if this is true, you're worth almost $4 billion. Then what? I asked gently. What do you mean? My father's empire. Their assumptions, all of it dwarfed by my portfolio. David's face paled as he realized. You let us think you were struggling. I never said I was, I replied. You assumed. The shock continued. My father scrolled on his own phone now. Thompson Industries, he whispered. I sipped wine again. Yes. Technically my firm acquired it. Your companies needed capital. I provided it. He paused. You've been our silent partner for 6 months? Silent investor, I corrected. I prefer the background. David frantically scrolled more articles. Photos. Gala events. Meetings with world leaders. You didn't tell us any of this? Why? I asked softly. Why assume I'm failing when you can never understand what I've built? Why assume I need your help? The weight of 8 years of misjudgment hung in the room. Jake, my other nephew, finally spoke. Aunt Sarah, it says here you're one of the youngest self-made billionaires. And you did all this while working full-time jobs, supporting yourself through college. Yes, I said simply. My mother was crying now. Shocked. Embarrassed. Overwhelmed. My father set down his phone. The inheritance discussion that had seemed so important, irrelevant now. You divided your assets based on what you believed I could handle, I said. Correct, he whispered. I agreed with it, I continued. Because I wouldn't know how to run a construction company or a restaurant chain. But I already own them, I added. David blinked. Yes, but how? I smiled softly. Through a management company. I handle the big picture, not daily operations. The silence stretched. Cold. Heavy. Deafening. Jennifer finally spoke, voice small. You own Harborview Residences? Yes, I confirmed. And Meridian Development Group? Patricia asked. Yes, I replied. Another one of my companies. Tommy read aloud again. You're planning sustainable, affordable housing. You've broken ground on 4 new developments, 5 actually approved just yesterday. My father's eyes met mine. I owe you an apology, he said softly. For everything, he added. Underestimating you, dismissing your work, assuming the worst. Dad, I said gently, you owe me nothing. You acted on what you knew. I never corrected your assumptions. Michael leaned forward desperately. But why didn't you tell us? I considered it. Honestly, I wanted one place where I could just be Sarah. Not the CEO. Not the founder. Not the billionaire. Just me. The words landed hard. Patricia whispered. We don't love you. I shook my head. You love the idea of me. The version you thought you knew. Not the real me. My mother was sobbing openly now. David shook his head frantically. That's not fair, he said. It is, I replied softly. 8 years of underestimation shattered. The Forbes list hadn't just revealed wealth. It revealed truth. It revealed me. The silence lingered for a moment longer. Then I set down my fork. Everyone watched me closely, unsure of what would come next. I smiled softly. Let's finish dinner, I said. The food is excellent. And then we can talk. Really talk. My mother wiped her tears, nodding. Michael and David exchanged uneasy glances, unsure if they could speak first. Jake and Tommy leaned forward, curiosity shining in their eyes. I continued. We finish dinner, we enjoy dessert, and then we start over. Start over? My mother asked cautiously. Yes, I said. We learn who I really am. And I learn who you really are. Without assumptions. Without judgments. Just truth. My father's shoulders relaxed slightly, though his eyes remained serious. You don't need to make anything right, I told him. You just need to decide if you want a relationship with me, the real me, or if you preferred the version you thought you knew. The table shifted. Jake was the first to speak. Aunt Sarah, can I ask about the AI stuff? The diagnostic systems? They're incredible. I chuckled softly, the first genuine smile of the evening. Absolutely. I'd love to explain it to you. Tommy added shyly. And the Cancer Research Center? Can you tell me about that too? Yes, I replied. It's called the Morrison Center. We're on track to open next spring. The energy at the table shifted. Respect. Curiosity. Genuine interest. My father spoke quietly. Sarah, would you explain your work to us? Of course, I said. It might take a while. 8 years of building a company is a lot to cover. My mother smiled gently. We have all the time in the world. I nodded. But first, I added, let's enjoy this wonderful dinner. We ate. We shared stories. We laughed, real laughter this time, not the polite, forced family kind. And after dessert, the conversation turned to business. My father asked about quantum dynamics. Michael and David listened carefully, no assumptions this time. I explained my vision, my investments, the acquisitions, the sustainable urban development projects. The family leaned in, asking questions. Not to judge, not to correct me, but to understand. For the first time, we were equals at the table. The inheritance conversation? It felt irrelevant. I wanted the businesses to go to those who would value them most. I told my father gently. You built something wonderful. You provided for the family, created value. I'm proud to be your daughter. And now we can finally be honest with each other. He nodded slowly, eyes glistening. Yes, he said. Finally. I looked at Michael and David. Yes, I continued. Your businesses, your expansions, go ahead. Build on what we've done. I don't need them. David looked surprised. You don't want the companies? No, I said. The inheritance should go to the people who understand them. That's you. That's fair. The atmosphere softened. Warmth returned. Respect returned. And for the first time in years, my family wasn't looking down on me. They were looking at me. Really seeing me. Jake asked again about the AI systems and Tommy about the Cancer Center. I explained both projects in detail. The boys listened fascinated. My mother looked at me, tears in her eyes. I didn't know, she whispered. Now you do, I said softly. Michael's expression softened. We assumed you were struggling. We never knew. Exactly, I said. I wanted one place where I could just be Sarah. Not the billionaire. Not the CEO. Just me. The family nodded slowly, understanding dawning. Respect. Acceptance. Love. And for the first time it felt real. The Forbes list had shown them the truth. Not just my wealth, but my perseverance, my vision, my choices. The night ended with laughter, conversation, and a tentative new beginning. When I drove back to my downtown apartment in my reliable Honda, I felt lighter than I had in years. Tomorrow, I would wake up and continue building, innovating, changing the world. But tonight, I simply enjoyed being seen. Truly seen. By my family. And that, I realized, was worth more than any Forbes list ranking could ever measure.